Welcome back to the garage. In today's video, we're just going to do a quick follow-up to the series on restoring the 028 Wood Boss steel chainsaw that I did back at the very beginning of this channel. I was so new to this thing, I go back and watch those videos. I'm like, man, I should just completely redo that. But anyhow, all right, so I had a comment from a great guy named Russell who complimented me on the work we did on the old saw and said that he would like for me to do a follow-up video about the aftermarket parts that I bought and put into the saw and talk about how they're doing. So that's what we're going to do in this video, guys, is I'm just going to take the old 028, set it on the workbench here, and grab a little footage out of some of the old videos, and we'll talk about the aftermarket parts and how they worked out so far. All right, so let's check this saw out. All right, guys, so here's the old Trail Boss. If you remember, man, in the other videos, in fact, I'd recommend you go back and watch those videos again where we completely restored this saw. I mean, we took it down to the bare metal and bought a bunch of aftermarket parts for it because, I mean, the price was just so economical. I figured, hey, I could try them, and if it didn't work out, I was just out some time. But we did it. We got it running, and so far, I've run about at least 12 tanks of gas and oil through this thing, and you can see it's dirty. I've taken it out on the trail. I've done sharpened the chain a couple of times and flipped the bar over once. And wore the paint off the handlebar there. Now, as far as the aftermarket parts are concerned, if you remember, we put the 46mm piston and jug with wrist pin and rings. It was like an assembly. We put that on it, and we put in crank bearings on each side, crank seals on each side. Those were aftermarket. We put in an aftermarket fuel line and impulse line. Put in gaskets, a complete gasket set, and the electronic ignition where you don't use the points anymore, where it's got the coil and all that's in one unit and you just run the one wire around. That worked out good. And the carburetor kit, it didn't quite have all the gaskets and that I needed for this particular model, but it had most of them, and I used the ones that fit and just said, well, we'll give it a shot. And so far it's worked good. So something that I did have a little problem with on this thing was getting this handle grounded good. And I had to come in here and work on this ground connection that's in here. There's a little ground wire that goes from this handle over to the case. And I had to work on that a little bit. If you don't have this handle grounded good, it won't shut off. You flip the lever up for the kill switch to ground it, and it won't shut the saw off. So I fixed that, and I took care of everything. Now, so far so good. I can't complain a bit. It's run good. Like I said, I've run about a dozen tankfuls through it. And I know that's really not a true measure. I mean, these saws were designed to run for years and years and years, and lots of wear and tear. But, considering what I had in the parts, I'm happy. I really am. So, this saw, I haven't used it now probably almost 2 weeks. Hasn't been started since then. In fact, it's probably a little low on gas and oil, but should be enough in it to crank it up. All right, so let's set it on the ground and start it up. All right, let's choke this thing. Squeeze the trigger. Chokes all the way down. And normally about 3 to 4 pulls, and this thing will hit. 1, 2. Take the choke off. So you can hear there, man, that saw's got a really good lick to it. A lot of power, a lot of compression. I mean, man, it'll just crank right up. So I'm really happy. And maybe, after a year of really working the saw even more, we'll come back and I'll continue to do follow-up videos on it. And you'll see it from time to time in some of my trail maintenance stuff. You'll see it show up. So anyhow, there's your follow-up video. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this little follow-up video on the aftermarket parts in the 028 Wood Boss. And you see my little notepad here, that means it's shout out time. Alright, so I'm going to start out with Russell. He's the one who asked me to make this video to begin with. So Russell, this video is just for you, man. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the aftermarket parts, how they worked out, if I like them or don't, just give me a shout, man. Leave a comment. I'll get back with you. Alright, my old buddy Ray Falcone. This old Ray, I love him. He comments on just about every video, if not all of them. And he commented the other day about Granny's Fried Chicken. And he loved that video and said maybe I should name my YouTube channel something about Granny's Kitchen or something. But I've done run out of recipes, guys. Alright, so he also commented on the little safety video that I did, garage safety and getting that flammable stuff out of your garage. That's so important. He also commented on putting the door on the 49, and the color that was on that blue, talking about the 49 he had was a similar blue. And so Ray, I'm not going to forget that, buddy. Alright, and then Rick Gillespie, my buddy from that I used to work with, good guy, man, love old Rick. He commented on the truckload of junk that I brought home the other day, as my wife calls it, and the hand crank drill press that's sitting over here. I don't know if you see it or not, but it's sitting on the floor waiting. It's in the queue, so to speak. So he commented on that, how cool it was, and man, I love that drill press. All right, so we'll search for Rob Finn. He's commented a bunch. Man, a great guy. I appreciate him. I guess it's a guy. Maybe it's a girl. How about search for Rob Finn? Leave in the comments if you're a guy or a girl. It'd be nice to know. All right, and talking about the truckload of junk. He said there was a lot of good stuff there, man, and it was. All right, and my sweet wife, Willa might know, my baby doll, my bride, she said she put out a plea to you guys if somebody knew about an app that would somehow block me from finding and locating and purchasing this old stuff. So y'all don't reply to that, all right? Got to get the stuff, junk. All right, last but not least is Rick Patton. So Rick Patton has commented a couple of times, and one of them, he was chiding me pretty good, man. It was the second part to the workbench video for the Smithy back there. And he got on me pretty hard about, you know, I buy this expensive machine and build this workbench, and then I put old rusty casters on it. And, you know, here's one of the casters, and, you know, I got to be honest with you, Rick. You know, after I bought the machine and got the bench built, all that, dude, I was out of money. I couldn't afford to go out and buy $200 worth of new casters. But I did have some old casters that I got that had been laying in a barn at my dad's house for probably 30 years in a box. And there was 4 of them in there that were usable. And yeah, they had some rust on them and they looked kind of bad, but you know, look, they turned good, they rolled good, and they worked. And you know, the workbench doesn't live on the casters. They're only to be stuck in and tightened down and let down when it needs to be moved. So if I need to move the machine, you know, I can. I just use my jacks in the legs, raise it up, put these on, let it back down, roll that thing where I want to use it at. Same thing in reverse, take these off, put them away. So here's my old rusty casters, Rick. All right, and Rick also commented on the same video again, and was a little upset about, you know, in the thumbnail there's this gorgeous blonde, and all you get stuck with is the old man in the video. So I replied back and said, hey man, she's in more videos, you just gotta watch. So watch my videos every now and then. The beautiful baby doll makes an appearance. Well, hey everybody, I appreciate you watching my videos. I appreciate your comments. Well, even if they're negative, man, that's what I want. Like my buddy there, Rick Patton, you know, he put in some comments and, hey, that was cool, man, I like that. You know, it doesn't bother me when someone disagrees or is like, duh, why'd you put old rusty casters on? That don't bother me. Bring it on, man. I'll reply back to you and I'll mention you in my videos. Hey, come back again. You're going to enjoy what's coming up.